Hey guys, Bipolar Barbie here, and it's so good to be back on YouTube because those of you who don't know, it's been a while. My head has been a mess. I've been all over the place, but I am back and I'm getting my shit together and I'm working on my book and I'm working on some raps, yo, and I don't know. I'm back and hopefully better than ever. So I will be explaining what's been going on, but brain explosion. Today I wanted to do a video that I haven't done in a while. It's like an answering fan questions, which I did promise I'd do more videos on, but this is also a douche zone video. Now normally I don't pay much attention and I don't talk about like the haters because haters gonna hate. But in what I'm doing with the mental health awareness, haters aren't necessarily hating on me. It really pisses me off because they're invalidating our entire struggle. It's like those are the people that need to be educated but refuse to be educated, and are just ignorant assholes. Like, they are a perfect example of the stigma that people with mental illness, with all sorts of problems, have to suffer. And it really pisses me off when they do that because it's like, as a whole, it's so frustrating. Like, I don't care. People can hate on me. Like, whatever. It happens. But, like, I'm not gonna let them hate on you. I'm not gonna let them hate on everyone that has gone through this shit and deny it. And this post really pissed me off because it was a post about no means no. And, look, I know the title of it is kind of deceptive because it wasn't necessarily about like rape and the whole like no means no, you know, big topical issue. It was really personal about my struggles with my inability to say no to anyone in any context. It was about how guilty I feel when I say no to someone. I can't say no to my friends. I get into uncomfortable situations and I can't communicate that with someone because I was never allowed to. I was never taught how to do that. I was never given a right to do that. My right to do that was taken away. And it was really just exploring what that's like for me and exploring why I struggle to say no. Because I was always trying to communicate that as a child. This makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. And the response was basically like, well, I don't give a fuck what you think or how you feel. You need to do it because that's what I want you to do. So that's just how I was brought up. And I think for some context, I might read the post out to you guys, and then we can have a look at some of the trolls in the comments because they were outrageous. But thank you to like the couple hundred of people, if not more, that did write a really supportive comment. But there were some people that really need to be called out on their bullshit. So here's the post, then we'll get to the fun stuff. So the post went around with, no matter how hard I try, the words won't come out of my mouth. And then I've got like N ... which I thought was really creative, but that's just me. It's not hard. 2 letters I've never been able to speak without being filled with guilt and shame. No! With an exclamation mark, so it's like scream. Even now I feel sick to my stomach, but the overarching feeling despite discomfort is that I have no right to speak it. I never had a right to, but we all do, and I know that now. I know that, but it doesn't make it easier to do. I really can't undo that programming that I have in my mind, because I was brought up in a world where no one was allowed to use that word no, unless you were a parent, and a child was not allowed to say no, and if I did, well, God help me. So I was really not allowed to object to anything. I was just given a command and forced to obey, and when I didn't, I was really punished harshly, and labeled as all sorts of things. Like, without getting into it, it was very traumatic. Like, verbally, physically beaten, manipulated, told that I was just a piece of shit because I couldn't do the right thing. And I guess, like, no matter how far they went to break me, just to teach me a lesson, I never really gave in, and that was where the basis of my problem with my parents began. And it broke me inside, but I never showed that outwardly. And it's hard when the rules are undefined. You're breaking the rules every day, but you always know what's wrong because you're always wrong. But you don't really know what's right, and you're just trying to figure out what's right, but you're never told what's right because your parents have this like negative to neutral validation range, which means it's like you're expected to do this, and then if you don't do it, well, you're going to be in a low shit. So I think because of this upbringing as my childhood as a woman, I really felt like I had no right to object. And I can be easily manipulated by men. I can be easily manipulated by a lot of people, really anyone, but particularly men, and especially men that I care about, but even complete strangers. Some random bikey dude used to come into my work and like kiss me, and I would just freeze. Like, he did that for months until for the first time, I spoke about it to my psychologist. I mean, I've been sexually assaulted multiple times at work. And the really sad thing is when it first started happening to me, I mentioned it to, colleagues and other people, and I was just kind of laughed at, or it was just brushed off. No one took it seriously. So I hid that. I didn't really mention it again. I think that's really important the first time someone reaches out, for you to actually support that, to believe them, to take it seriously, to investigate it at least, see kind of what's going on. Anyway, I've lost track of the post, but basically we've explained it like, no matter how hard I tried for a long time, and I'm really trying to practice saying no, but it's hard. And I think I've gone from one extreme to another where I'm like, no. But even when I do say no, I still feel so guilty. Even though I'm enforcing those boundaries, I wasn't allowed to have boundaries, and now I've got some pretty strict boundaries because I have to, because I got so broken, because people violated my boundaries for so long. I'm so traumatized by that experience. So that happened. And then things just got really out of hand in the comments. Like, people were super supportive. That was great. And then this guy, Zach, came along. I'm not really going to name and shame anyone, but Zach deserves to be named and shamed because he's just a full asshole. So he goes on to say, just for the record, feminism has lost its way. Real women don't play into the guise that it is a feminist movement for the majority anymore. You have taken it too far to the extreme. It's not about rights anymore. It's about male oppression, plain and simple. Otherwise, general observations of what you post. You're facilitating the feelings of rape and domination by what you're wearing in this very picture. Stop being a professional victim and start being a warrior. You as an individual chose your stars regardless of what your situation you may be in. Look, okay, the picture, I must admit, was kind of revealing because I wasn't really wearing long pants. I was wearing like short little bike shorts and like an oversized like singlet that was longer than this one. And the reason I chose that picture is because of like a photo shoot that I did where I had my mouth taped shut. So that obviously is like an artistic expression, a metaphor for the fact that I can't say no. And that's why I picked that picture. I didn't really pay much attention to how suggestive it might be because I don't think of stuff like that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, maybe if it is suggestive, it's going to get the attention of people that actually need to read this post. Like, you know what I mean? If you're going to be attracted to a woman like that, then you need to be reading this post. You need to be comprehending this stuff. I guess it attracted the attention from a few people, just a few, that didn't like, I don't know. I feel like if you're getting particularly uncomfortable about this, when I post stuff like this, then you're really the one that needs to hear it. Because if you automatically get defensive, then you feel like I'm talking directly to you. And it's great if you feel like you can relate to what I'm experiencing. But if you get uncomfortable and you feel like I'm making accusations and you respond in this way, clearly you feel like it's a personal attack on yourself, which means you're the type of person that I'm talking about. As far as the feminist movement goes, I have a lot of feminist friends and they always accuse me of not calling myself a feminist, and that's a bad thing. I associate with a mental health advocate because that's what I do. I advocate about my life and my journey and my story with mental illness, my life experiences. And sure, some of my life experiences cross over with abuse into the grounds of what you would call feminism. But I'm pro-choice. I think everybody has rights, and I'm against injustices of any form. I will stand up for men that are being abused. Like, I will stand up for anyone, regardless of whether you're a man or woman, regardless of what race you are, regardless of how old you are, regardless of what the hell is going on. I get physically sick when I see injustices happening. And I'm not saying that this is men. Like, I am not sexist, and I would not necessarily say I'm a feminist. But I think people have rights, and I think everyone deserves to be treated with respect. And if you're disrespecting someone, then I will call you out on your bullshit. I call a lot of women I know out. You know, I don't think women should be allowed to hit men. I don't think women should be allowed to scream abuse at men. I will call someone out. I'll beat the shit out of some bitch if she's trying to bash her boyfriend. No, I won't really, because I'm not a violent person. But, like, that's not okay either. It's not okay to make anyone feel that way. It's not okay to hurt anyone in any way. So, and then some other guy, like, I guess Wayne, gets involved, and he's like, what a crazy world we live in. And yes, I do believe that a woman has the refuse a man. So I guess he's saying the right to refuse a man. Awesome. You know, you should have just ended it there, Wayne, right? But then to go on and say, but not to mislead or to give a wrong impression or lead towards a wrong conclusion, especially by intentionally deceiving. Now, I don't necessarily know what you exactly mean by that, but what I take away from that is you're basically saying that if a woman is presenting herself in a way that you assume is like she's asking for it, then it's okay for men to do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, I had this debate in law school with this guy who was just a complete asshole, and he said that if women go into a club and dress up nice, their admission to the club, them entering a club, gives men a right to touch them, to grind up on them, to do whatever the hell they want with them, because they're asking for it by simply being in a club. But, like, seriously, people, this is bullshit. But, like, no. There is, like, no way I'm asking for it. And it really pisses me off because I should be allowed to wear what I want. I try and be respectful, but, like, people say to me all the time, oh, like, put your, like, well, not everyone, but this guy was trolling my YouTube going, put your tits away, like, you know, you're disgusting. I mean, he had conservative views about women. I was like, I don't deliberately get my tits out. I'm quite conservative to people that I see around me. If you, I don't know, like, just keep it in your fucking pants, boys. Like, seriously. Do you have to think with your penises all the time? I don't look around and, like, I don't know. Do women check men out in the same way? I don't objectify men. I don't walk around going, oh yeah, I want to, like, fuck him. Like, oh, like, he's hot. Like, I don't do that. I got something in my eye, so I'm not crying, but I don't know. I just feel like it's super ridiculous. And, like, it's your goddamn issue. Like, what? Am I asking for it in my pajamas today? Because I don't know, like, my shoulders aren't covered? Like, that is bullshit. A woman is never asking for it. No one is, like, ever asking for it unless they specifically say, you know what I want? I'm not going to finish that sentence, but, okay. So, yeah. No means no. And then, yeah, there was actually someone that stood up. This is the guy as well. And, like, I'm not being sexist about this, but it was really interesting that the only negative comments were from men. That's an observation. That's not a sexist comment. But there was a couple of men that really came to the defense, and who felt uncomfortable about how these men were behaving, and I guess representing their sex in a way that they didn't feel comfortable with. So there was someone, you know, who called them out on their bullshit and actually mentioned a funny point. Like, sometimes I do check out these people's accounts when they just have this outrageously ignorant comment. And I just go to their account, and like they're always someone who's like, this one guy had this whole account of nappies. Like it was just pictures of him in nappies. This like 40-year-old man. And I was like, you're questioning me on my life choices? I mean, do what you want. But, and some other guy like believed that the earth was flat. It's like, you know, like, I don't know. So, yeah, that one guy called the other boys a twat, and you know what? Yeah, you are twats. And then this one, you know, another guy comes in with, if women don't respect yourself, how do you think men will respect you? Stop putting yourself in situations that are not good for you. The picture is very revealing of your problems, and there's a clear link between child abuse and prostitution. What? There is a clear link between drug addiction and problems with anxiety and many other things. Of course there's a fucking link. If you're abused, you're gonna be fucked up. I don't see what that really, like, that. I mean, that's a good statement. That's very truthful. But unfortunately, that means your mum wasn't great either, and she failed at you, choosing the wrong men, abandoning you like a dog in public school. What's wrong with public school? I went to public school and I turned out alright. So she could pursue selfish interests. It's very sad you had to go through this, but it's not all men's fault. If anything, it's women's fault, especially your mums and all the women that led to her to be like you with what you do, who abandon you to choose bad men to have with you. Okay, like, first of all, this kind of had nothing to do with my mom. Yes, my mom was a shit person. She was not a good role model. She was not a prostitute. I think this guy has major mummy issues, and I don't know, like, she may have been a prostitute. My mum was only ever with one man, and that was my dad. They've been married for, like, 26 years. So, I don't, how am I putting myself into situations where men disrespect me, other than the fact I'm letting them disrespect me by not standing up for myself? And then this guy also responds to Zach, the douchebag from the beginning. It was like, great answer, brother. But you're wasting your time. Move along and keep being happy and stop paying attention to these clearly very disturbed human beings desperately looking for attention. Obviously, they love cats, dildos, and most of them are or will be eternally on antidepressants. 1, I hate cats. I'm sorry to the cat lovers out there, but dogs all the way. I think there's 2 types of people in the world. There are dog lovers and there are cat lovers. Cat lovers say they like dogs too, but you will never hear a dog person say that they like cats. It's always the cat people that say that, you know, cat people can love dogs. Dog people don't love cats. It's just how it is. So, I don't have a cat. I also don't own a dildo. Shock. Horror. Maybe I should get one. I don't know. I'm not desperately looking for attention. But I agree that both of these men are wasting their time and they should just move along and keep living their lives. Yes, we are clearly disturbed. I mean, like, we're mentally ill. But I think it's you people, like, these 2 guys that are they're disturbing me. And, like, I'm disturbed, but, like, they're disturbing me. And, like, yes, I will spend the rest of my life on antidepressants because of people like this. Like, I go to therapy to deal with people who should be in therapy. And these are a perfect example of those people. That's enough on him. Oh, yeah. So then Zach comes back. There you go again with the professional victim mentality. Men aren't your problem. You are the problem. In case you haven't crawled out from under your victimhood lately. I do like the wordplay there, though. The Supreme Court ruled it's okay for you to walk around shirtless if you like, with no repercussions. The Bipolar Barbie is exactly what her name says, bipolar crazy, and in no way, shape, or form a warrior. You're a bunch of snowflakes who have been conditioned to be a victim and nothing more. You're a consumer who provides no freaking real fabric. I do like that alliteration, though. He can write. To our society besides dark energy. As long as you play the victim, nothing in your life will ever change. Also, until you accept you're the person responsible for the life you live, then you might as well keep that victim card. You probably think Trump is a bad president as well. Have a nice life thinking all men are the problem and abusers. Well, I mean, there's your answer. He supports Trump. I mean, clearly insane. Yes, I have bipolar. Yes, I have mental. I just can't even like deal with like commenting on these people's stupidity anymore. I just need you to know that there is this much ignorance and stupidity out there. Yeah, men can walk around shirtless, I guess is what he's trying to say. Women can't walk around shirtless because we're asking for it. Men, some of you really need to put a shirt on. I mean, you know, no chick wants to see a dick pic, and no one wants to see saggy man boobs. That's not fat shaming, that's just a fact. And I really hate it when I talk about my problems and people assume that I'm not a warrior. It's like I'm telling you what I went through so that you know that I'm still here. So that I am a goddamn fucking warrior, because I am. It's like, if I had lost hope, I wouldn't be fucking here. Like, that really frustrates me. I fight every single day of my life. And you don't know how hard I fight unless you know what I've been through. So, yeah. And then, like, some guy, I think this is a guy. No, it was a chick. So this chick gets in, awesome comment, babe. So because you're standing there topless in your profile pic and your lady friend is in swimmers, you're both clearly asking to be raped. So much skin on display, it must be so. It disturbs me that you share with the planet such a logical, ignorant, dumbass fools. Nice one. I like that. So, oh, okay. So, I don't know. Then I've got to come into, like, that's probably the assholes. And then there were a lot of women that were supporting, or just a lot of people, I guess, that were supporting, which was great. You know, there was one person that went, and these kind of comments, like, annoy me, like, a little bit. Where it's like, I think you're a great help to people, but I think you live your life by bipolar and borderline. What about living your life about who you are minus the illness? I have borderline, but it's a title I'd rather not use. Blah, 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 blah. The whole point of recovery is to being you without your mental illnesses. The only reason I use the titles is so people know what the fuck I'm talking about and they can identify my comment. I don't really give a shit what I am, what they diagnose me with. It's like a ticket to treatment. It's a way to categorize and understand what's going on so that I can do research and I can share information on particular topics. That's not who I am. But I mean, at the same time, borderline is who you are. Like, borderline is complex trauma. It's how your personality develops. So borderline is actually a personality. And your personality is who you are. So I disagree. I am not bipolar, but I will be bipolar for the rest. I will have bipolar for the rest of my life. But I'm not, like, I am borderline. That's a fact. I just think that people arguing about whether you say I have or I am, or, you know, people just come, like, let's talk about real shit. Let's talk about important issues, not about how someone identifies with, whatever you identify with. Like, let's stop arguing about whether or not people should use labels, and let's just talk about what they're labeling themselves with. And then people come in with, like, mental health services can help you. You need to take your meds. You need to get some meds. You know, you need to change the way you feel, and, you know, you need to, like, get your shit together. Well, I take meds. I've been taking meds for many years, and there were other people saying the same thing. Meds fix you. You need to go, like, fix yourself. And I guess I just don't have time for people that haven't read my content. Like, I take meds. I've been getting therapy for years. I've been hospitalized. When people accuse me of not wanting to help myself, my doctors will tell you, and people in my life will tell you, that there is no one that wants to help themselves more than me. My doctors literally, like, tell me that on a regular basis, how proud of me they are for wanting to help myself, despite how little support I have gotten over the years from both medical professionals and friends and family. So, fuck you, haters. fuck you all. And then, you know, a guy comes in with another comment, are you ready to make the changes that you need to? Well, yeah. Clearly. I'm making changes every second of every day. My doctors tell me they've never seen the same person twice, and they just can't comprehend how quickly I can change and evolve. So that was my rant. That was going in the douche zone playlist. I think I'm going to go through some of the DMs as well, the scary DMs I never opened, because I've seen some, like, funny ass shit in there that is, again, douche zone material. So, it's good to be back. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm sorry this has been a long rant video. Just, comment your thoughts. Let us all know if you're one of those ignorant douchebags, because we're looking forward to it. And if you're not, let me know too. Just make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you think more people need to see it. And last of all, not a doctor.